Good evening everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Nether Expedition. Things have been a little slow because I've been fiddling around with a few things in a various respects. You'll probably see the result of a couple of them very soon. I'm trying something a little bit different in this episode, which is that I'm recording my narration... Those rendering bugs, huh? I'm recording my narration separately so that I can hopefully make it louder than the surrounding areas of the footage so that you'll actually be able to understand me a bit better. Because that's a rather recurring problem with my videos, and it's something that I'm kind of taking out of the book of Minecraft News and David64YT, also known as X. Let's have just a quick look over at the arena, which has seen some progress, but it's not really what we're going to be focusing on today. Ow. Yeah, we've got the walls finished. We've got these fences up so I don't fall off. The surrounding floor here is done, so the seats are next to come in. If I just pop down here, there's some floor work starting around here as well. We've got our little room for the blazes. I really should move this, but if you remember, these are going to be powered by pistons, and that is sort of my main conundrum for the day. Because what I'd like to do is get a sand generator working. They seem to be pretty much all the rage, but if we have them around here, we can make sand structures, we can make sandstone, all of them, we can make sandstone slabs. Perhaps most importantly, we can make various forms of glass, including glass bottles. And if we can create a surplus of glass bottles, that means we can then start using splash potions. I can't think offhand if there are any damaging or such potions that we can make here in the Nether, but they'll still be handy nonetheless because they're quicker to use. And that's more or less what this little hole here is for, right next to our cobblestone generator. Now the slight problem that I have is I've done the figures, and this is going to require 5 sticky pistons, a regular piston, 5 redstone torches, 6 repeaters, and 15 redstone wire. And all told, that adds up to 39 pieces of redstone dust. And every single one of our sticky pistons. So we're going to have to break probably 2 of these redstone ores, but I'm hesitant to do it, but on the other hand, in order to use them as like a bud switch, we kind of need a sticky piston anyway. But this is an interesting moment, because it means I'm going to be using every single sticky piston I'm ever going to own in this series, as near as I can tell. So we'll break 1, and see how that gives us first. Hey, perfect, we can keep the other 2. Okay, in you go. Actually, on the word of things we can do in this series, just while I make everything else that we need, there has been some news on the 1.4 front, which is that we're going to be getting a few more enemies around here. Specifically, we are going to be seeing the arrival of the Wither Skeletons, which are, for want of a better term, the... Oop, I did that wrong somewhere, I think. Let's see, I need to split the... well, one of these needs to go through a piston. I need to separate this to freeze. That ought to do it. Let's see, 6 repeaters will require 12 torches, plus the 5 that we need for everything else. Okay, so that's our repeater count, so we need another... a few more of those. Have to do this carefully. My brain is going to all sorts of irritatingly accurate places right now. Alright, so there's 3 repeaters. We need another 3. Which means I need more wood. There we go. That would be 2, but I'm out of down, it would seem. Fortunately, I cooked up a batch more charcoal in the interim. But yes, the Wither skeletons, or Nether skeletons, or more or less whatever you want to refer to them, will be Endermen-sized and armed with stone swords, which doesn't seem particularly threatening, really. But, on the other hand, they will also have the status effect that is similar to the boss mob Wither, which is that they will give you a Wither effect that turns your hearts and your health black. I don't know much more about it, other than it's effectively a poison. I presume it means that you can't really tell how low your health is. So if we're going to be fighting them, having regen potions that we can splash on ourselves at a moment's notice is going to be particularly helpful. Right, and there is our 6. But we need one more torch. Fortunately, we have a spare stick. I'm not sure where the spare stick came from, but we have it. And we also need to put together a piston. Regular piston. Yep. There. The iron farm is still going pretty strong, which is good. But, I believe we'll be starting to trade with the villagers soon, because I have a plan to put some sort of stalls down... There's a piece of sand. Down by the arena, so sort of like hot dogs, grab your hot dogs, and all sorts of butchers and stuff. So we can stick a bunch of villagers down there, as well as in the spectator stands, as you saw in the What is going on? For those curious, I have installed Optifine, and it is working reasonably well now. But we're still getting... I'd say, if anything, we're getting those lighting glitches even more often. It's very strange. Okay, so... Need one piston like that. And, well, that's extended. There needs to be one here as well. Just make a little hole for myself here. Digging myself a hole, oh boy. Let's get some more Nether brick. Oop, hello guys. I swear these guys are more populous now. I keep seeing them everywhere. There was 20 dancing beneath me while I was making the arena. Very strange. The design I'm using, by the way, is a minorly modified version of the one that's been in the tutorial by Izuma. Fellow Brit, lovely guy. His, however, used a lot more sticky pistons. I've tried, where possible, to remove all the pistons in the redstone. This device, in general, seems to be pretty damn finicky. So, that's why I'm doing this begrudgingly, because we really don't have much redstone. We'll be able to get more redstone when we actually finally get to trading with priests and such, but as it stands, this is more or less all that we have, and it's especially all that we are ever going to have with regards to... Let's see, like that. With regards to the sticky pistons. So, I'm a little bit glum, and that's a server bug, I believe. Yep, that is. It thinks you're in the block, so it doesn't let you put there. Okay, and that there, and that there. And there needs to be sticky pistons here. And we duplicate on the other side. Duplicate. How topical. Yep. Hello, sir. Yes, please don't mind the wiring. Okay. And there. And a block there that we can put a torch on top of. And this basically serves... both of these serve as a pulse generator. But they're using pistons so that you can get a much faster pulse than you would normally get. Such as from a regular piston. From a regular pulse generator like we have over there. And it's the really, really, really quick pulse that this uses that allows us to actually... Yep, if I remember how this is done. Yep. That allows us to actually get... Why do I have so few of these repeaters already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... I may have miscounted the number of repeaters we need. Well, I guess we're about to find out if that's particularly crucial. Let's see if I just remember how to do this. Let's see... I believe dust goes here. Just trying to remember this, because it's not the simplest thing in the world. Yeah, a pair of torches. Here and abouts. Kindly shifts her. And yes, a piece of dust does go here. And a repeater here, set to full. Which is triggering another of our sticky pistons. These movement bugs. Okay, and they go into there. Where that feeds to that. And there's another sticky piston that goes right... And let's see... Right... Here. Dust. This is hilarious to watch. Oh, no, I do have the right number of pistons, the right number of repeaters. There he goes. There we go. And we got his loot as well. Yay! Okay, that was one of the most, for lack of a better term, and I don't mean to offend anyone, one of the most retarded ways I've ever killed a pig zombie. Okay, and we can save a little bit of dust here if we want to. Which we kind of do. Ow. I'm good, I'm good. Right, yep, that's on full setting. I just need to find a way to quickly stop this thing from working. That should do it. We need to put our sand, and oh wow, I've created funky pistons. Okay, and if we put this torch back, there we go. Alright, so that's giving us an infinite supply of sand. It's a little annoying to turn off at the moment, but we don't really have the redstone left to fix that much. Although there is a very simple reason as to why I have it so exposed, which is because we can also duplicate gravel with this. Now, of course, there isn't really much reason for us to be duplicating gravel at this stage. Especially since it's a fairly easy to acquire natural resource around here. There we go. But, you never know, we might find some reason to. So I like plus I like having it exposed because it then drops itself onto the half slabs, which breaks it. So now that we have our infinite sand, which I shall just go re-enable again. And ideally you can hear me over this noise now because of the sound tweaking we've been doing. So all of this sound, I can just reduce the sound of the footage and increase the sound of my narration, and you should be able to hear me just fine! Won't that be lovely? Yeah, this is a very noisy machine, and hopefully we'll have the resources soon to have like a lever somewhere that'll turn it off and on, like we do over there. Although we can't really put anything there, because if you saw before, you saw a torch on the other side there, that's because through there is the wiring for the timer on the cobblestone generator. Ooh, that's interesting. Not a problem, not a problem. But, since we've got this, let's go smelt some glass. No, I haven't. I was hoping I had enough wood on me for another chest or some kind, but actually, while we're here, I have been thinking of ways to improve the ghast farm. I mean, every now and then we'll catch some pigmen or a slime in here, but we very, 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 very rarely manage to actually catch a ghast. And I believe it's due to these pathways, basically. Because of the walls, and because of the paths where they can't spawn, there's a large portion here. There's actually more space here that they can't spawn in than there is space that they can. If one of them does manage to be so tremendously unlucky as to pick the very middle of one of these platforms to spawn, we'll catch them, but the odds of that are so very staggeringly small. Which is something of a flaw in my planning, but something we can remedy, especially, there's not even a... but that's like 2 blocks above that! Why is it showing up there? Oh, wow. What is going on? Oh god. Strangeness abounds, it would seem. Okay, split this. Yep, XP. Not much, but since we can't enchant anything anyway, not that big a deal. Okay, and let's get some more charcoal on the go. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but if you see... yeah, these slabs will occasionally jitter. And I think... moving swiftly along, I think that's because of the... effectively they've got 2 different states now, which means they have 2 different textures. And a lot of the block textures are drawn directly from... well, a lot of the items of block textures are drawn directly from what they look like when they're in block form in the world. Which consequently means that if you mess with, say, the block texture for snow, it'll look different in the item inventory as well. Aw, hello. How the hell did you get in here? No, seriously, how did you get in here? Silence. How did he get in here? Did he... no, he couldn't have spawned on that. And everything here is a bottom half slab. Hello, there's a ghast through there. I have learned that fighting ghast now more or less requires that I have a fire potion on standby. But... what? This is getting disturbing. For a time I thought I'd actually started to spawn endermen around here. That's been happening more and more. I'm gonna see if I can find some kind of fix for that. I've been thinking of building another iron golem farm somewhere else anyway. Which is unfortunate, because it means we'll have to repurpose or kill off that particular piece of wood there. If anyone has any clue what the hell is going on with the half slabs around here, by all means, let me know. Because that is freaky. Okay, let's put the rest of our ailing redstone back. But yeah, with that done, let's take a look around and see, because I was looking through the videos, all 19 of them to date, that's my number 20, of Nether Expedition, and we have come a very long way. So I figured for episode 20, let's do a little bit of a retrospective, shall we? And of course our story begins all the way down here, with our very neglected initial corridor. And please don't shoot at me, please don't shoot at me, good. And back then these were all wooden planks, and here we had our melons growing. And this was our tree farm, which was tremendously inefficient. The new one's not much more, but not much better, but hey, it works. This was our old forge, which we've more or less incorporated into the storage itself, back over there right now. Shushcast. Storage was here, yeah, with the 3 stone bricks that we had to our name for a very long time. And here is how we got here. The skeletal carcass of the superconductive Nether portal. And then wandered through here. Explosion happened. I was very lucky not to get caught in the blast. And then I believe the first episode ended with me digging out this tree farm. Although, as I recall, my very first iron pickaxe broke, and this one's almost on the way out as well. Okay, ignore the tentacles in the distance. And yeah, that was how this whole thing started. We had very little to our name. We had no iron ingots. We had just a set of iron tools and some iron armor, which I could easily replicate at this point, I suppose. And I spent the better part of half an hour staring at a melon stalk to see if it would actually grow in the Nether. And now I realize pretty much everything will, provided it has the right resources. And so after that, we moved down here. We started clearing some space out. Is there 2 of them out there? No, just one very noisy one. Yeah, we started moving up here. This wooden line didn't really come until much much later. And first thing we did was we made the villager dormitory, which is now Martin's cell. Well, he's still MIA, which is weird because there's some books missing from in there, like 2 or 3 books. So I think he's gone on a bit of a walkabout. Probably, if I find him in the library, I suppose I'll find it. Oh no, there is 2. I suppose I'll find him there. Eek. We need Walter around, really. But yeah, this used to be a kind of pair of joined corridors. And I believe around about here was where I was first shot at by Ghast. And horrified by the notion. Zisto residence, named because it was the first place around here that we actually had pig zombies spawn where we were trying to put our villagers. And all along here was different chambers or houses or apartments or whatever you want to call them for villagers who are now largely residing inside of the Iron Golem farm. But then there was a fateful day after we made that, and I was so very happy that it worked, where we found out that zombies also spawn when you have villagers around, and consequently, Martin was the last survivor. And he's since become a bit of a staple of the series, which is nice. But then we started moving things up here into the revised storage room, because this was emptied out in the process of me acquiring stone Nether bricks to build our stuff, so that the Ghast couldn't destroy them so easily. That wasn't added for a while, and this stairwell used to be up here, and it was where we first met Walter, actually. It was about here, I believe. I mean, we wandered in one day, and there was Walter, just sitting on the stairs. Walter the First. So we shepherded him down here, and he was kind of our helper golem, our little handy guy. Put up that sign, because he kept wandering off. And oh, how appropriate that you should be here. Yes, very appropriate. All of you can quite kindly leave. Yep, that means you. A lot harder to fight now that I actually had to deal with lag. But yes, a long while later we got Larry, and he helped us capture 2 separate blaze spawners, one of which is now our blaze farm, and the other is being incorporated into the arena. And then sadly, Larry went missing, and we came to the conclusion eventually that he'd fallen off a ledge into a lava flow. So he is immured here, and likewise next to him, Walter the First, because despite valiant battling, Walter the First was downed by the very pigmen. He was tasked with keeping clear of the area because we didn't have half slabs to use at the time. lot harder to fight now. But from that we then got Walter II, who is currently, I presume, on walkabouts with Martin. And he's been very faithful, he's been very useful, most recently he's been guarding us from the pig zombies and the blaze around the arena while we build things. This is the tree farm, which is getting a bit on the side of overgrown, because we haven't had to farm anything for a while now from here. Where Walter loved to spend his time. Walter's 1 and 2 have loved to spend a lot of time inside the tree farm. Here's the challenges and the to-do list, the notice board, if you will, that we've been following for a while. We've got 3 outstanding challenges. This is the one we're currently working on, the arena. That is what tempts me to redesign the ghast farm. Ghast farm came in quite a while later, and it was after we set up the revised melon farm over here. And yeah, we built that entirely out of melon, because I figured why not, and I had an outstanding challenge at the time from, I believe, YouTube user Yeggplant. Let me just... There we go, Yeggplant. We had that outstanding challenge to find a damaged Nether Fortress bridge, as there are quite a few, and repair it with melon, because melon actually has a blast resistance that makes them impervious to ghast blasts. But there aren't any, or at least there aren't any that lead anywhere inside of this fortress, at least that we've found. So I combined that with the idea of making a ghast farm, and now we have our melon ghast farm, which I believe I've now gotten out of the habit of calling the melon farm, but oh well. And then what happened? Well, after that, we fixed up Martin's home. We did some interior design, because he was the last guy around here. We started working up here in the lobby. Oh boy, there are slimes. If you're familiar with the series, you'll know that the magma cubes routinely drive me crazy. Yeah, getting the villagers in was a hassle. We had to shepherd them out of here and up through, let's see, the wall used to extend to about here. And we used to have to shepherd them right up there, where there is still a passageway, but it's boarded off from everything, more or less, because I had to keep zombies out of there. Although they still keep spawning up there, because as we found, they'll spawn anywhere in the middle of a siege, and that's the only reason they spawn anywhere around here at all. How's my armor doing? Good. But yeah, we started working around here in the lobby, and then we went walkabouts. We took Martin, and we started looking for the library. Martin, as it turns out, has very little sense of direction, because he took us all the way over to where the arena is currently being built. He took us all the way past that. He took us the other side of the map, more or less, effectively, and he didn't find a single thing. We could not find any sign of a library. Whoa, that was a weird thing to see. Yeah, he took us all the way to the library. He took us all the way around, and then we came back here to resupply, spend a little time with Walter, because we hadn't been with him for like most of the episode by then, and I was getting nostalgic for him, as I am right now, really. And then he told me, after wandering around the melon farm, that it was upwards. And I realised that I hadn't touched this stairwell pretty much since we moved in. I had no reason to believe there was anything up there of any use, because it was covered with netherrack at the time. But we went up, and we went around, and we found what we did down here, which is the library, which miraculously still hasn't burst into flame. I wonder if there's a special bugs or something. We've since cleaned it up and covered every single spot of it. It's a literal maze, so some navigational ability was required for that, and I'm glad I didn't have to take Martin with me. But he's evidently taken some of the books that were in that chest with him. But yes, I was quite cross with Martin when that happened, because we'd spent like an hour wandering the Nether, trying to find the place, and it was right at home, right above our storage area anyway. But that's always the way with things in the Nether, is you're looking everywhere for them, and they turn out to be right above, if not under your nose. And I left that the next episode. And from the library, once we went fully pathfinding all the way through it. We got our treasure supplies, which included some ice blocks, which now make up our deep springs. We got a bunch of useless, more or less, stuff. I suppose I could actually make some tripwires with that now. That'd be fun. Oh, no, 10 coal still. Ah, yes, I've been avoiding using the coal because I can't get coal, I can get charcoal. There isn't any difference with them, and we're not using the equivalent exchange mod, so there's no real separation between them at all. We have 6 diamonds. I've resisted putting them to any use. But we could probably make an enchantment table out of them. As it takes 2 diamonds to make that, 3 to make a... Yeah, we could make an enchantment table if we wanted to. Maybe that'll be something we do for the, like, when the skeletons and stuff start turning up. And we also got some redstone ore and a bunch of redstone. About half a stack or so, I believe, of redstone originally. No, it must have been a full stack because we have the wiring for the cobblestone generator there. And some bugs from breaking some stuff. And yeah, that was our treasure chest. And that then led to us getting the deep springs installed, which allowed us to highly more automate our golem farm and also get our cobblestone generator going and get this very, 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 very hideous looking fountain, which I should probably replace with something else. But we can now get water more or less wherever we need it. That particular fountain goes straight up to the deep springs anyway. Now if it appears in here, I know exactly where it's come from. It's come from over there. But yeah, we then, once we had that, we got our potion stands together as well, so we can now make potions like this fire resistance potion, which I really wish I had when we were with Larry conquering the blaze farms, but oh well. But yeah, we only got 5 sticky pistons, all of which are now in use in our brand new sand generator here. And let's see, what else have we been doing? Yeah, well, the arena has been our most recent thing. We've been covering the place in half slabs to reduce, if not eliminate, the odds of anything spawning. And oh, that's what I forgot down here. One of the very first, like, big constructions that we made. I believe it was after we made the... Yep. Yeah, this was after we made the blaze farm, I believe. Oh no, it would have been before. My sense of time is completely gone on this point. But yeah, we have this this gold farm, which I keep meaning to expand, because the rates in it aren't particularly fantastic. In fact, the rates of zombie pigmen spawning in here seem to be a hell of a lot lower than they are beneath the arena right now. But yeah, here we go. It was such a pain to make with all these iron bars, because the ghast kept shooting at us, and that's less than helpful. I need to kind of reconfigure how punching them to get them to jump off the edge goes. But yeah, we've been redesigning the floor a fair bit. We've got the blaze farm, which is now fairly useful now that we can actually have potions. Especially now that we can now have renewable potions. We can now make splash potions. So I suppose if Martin ever manages to catch himself on fire, we can toss a potion at him. Down here is the blaze farm, which was one of our first kind of elements in automation, considering we had no redstone whatsoever at the time. Let me just have a bit of a nom. And this was a real pain to capture with Larry. There we go, there they are. And then if we up down here, yeah, well, this was one of the first things I believe this was one of the first things I showed off in my test world as well. I showed how to automate the place. Because here they don't take any damage. And since I don't have any more sticky pistons, nor can I particularly hope to get any more, we can't automate this, because you really need a sticky piston to actually, like, choke them. To suffocate them like we saw when we were making the sand generator with that poor unfortunate pig zombie. Well, am I saying poor unfortunate? He killed Walter. Their kind is no longer welcome here. But, yes, their punishment must be more severe. Yeah, the ghast noise, which so petrified me earlier, is now, kind of just background noise, really. It's music to me. And we made the realization later in the series that I've actually become quite at home here in the Nether. But, let's see, what... Recently I've had, Wisey watching the videos. If you haven't heard of Wisey, you should probably go check him out, he does some nice stuff. Yeah, I got in contact with him through Dave Chaos, and my videos started surfacing as they were looking them around. Gar unfortunately found some of my very, very old ones. If you've been reading Remember for a very long time, you'll know that I used to have a series called Memory Loss, which has now mysteriously vanished from the internets, for the most part. But Gar dug up something from that ages ago. But, yeah, this would be the second one that we, captured with Larry that hasn't seen a use until now. But, yeah, Wisey's been watching the videos, and he's been wondering, how the hell do I survive in the Nether? Purely in the Nether. Well, as it turns out, these days I survive rather well. Rather comfortably. I can't sleep at all, but considering the mobs spawn 24/7 anyway, that's not really a huge problem. Although I think for Anniver, one of the things I'm going to be doing is making a clock to see if that actually, like, changes anything. Just have, like, an eternal time there. But yes, that's a full tour of our spaces now, and we've got our golems building up here. This was one of the first constructions that we made in here, because our biggest priority at the first to begin with was, making sure that we could get hold of any, iron, because iron is important for armor. But perhaps more importantly for me at the time, it was important for making tools, because whilst I could have made, wooden tools, it would have been boring as sin for everyone watching. How much have we picked up in the course of all this rambling, huh? Yeah, there still isn't any kind of flow to put them into there, but, when it's backed up like this, they tend to push each other into it. In you go. It's a little harder to push them now that they're in a multiplayer. No, you stay in. There we go. Of course, these guys don't have Walter's skin anymore, so we can distinguish them. From Walter, at least. And yeah, this is a fairly old design. The most recent change is adding the signs with the water. But it has served us very well. We've got more than 2 stacks of iron blocks sitting inside the storage over there. And we recently had to change it over from wooden half slabs to stone ones. I made them stone bricks, because hey, why not? Because Jeb decided to make them flammable. Which was fantastic. But suffice to say, we've managed fairly well, really. But in 1.4, as a lot of people have been pointing out to me, there's going to be a change that will allow villagers and the ilk to wander through Nether portals. Just regular Nether portals, without any worry about whether they're superconductive or anything. And people have wondered if I'm going to be stopping the series then, because I'll be able to just take a flint and steel to the skeletal remains of our super portal and call it a day. To which I say, why? I mean, we have so much history here, we have so much done, we've achieved so much here, and we have still so much to do. To the point that I wonder, will there ever be a day when we actually will have to leave, or will have run out of things to do around here? And it seems to be continually the answer is no. There's always going to be something hidden in the Nether for us. Where do I put this? I guess I'll put it over here. There's always going to be one more spectre in the dark. And as it would seem, the upcoming spectre, you are the luckiest mother effer alive. Because about 10 seconds ago, that was full of stone, that was full of iron golems. Talk about time to spawn. But yeah, there's always going to be something, and apparently what's going to be coming next for us will be... Oop. Well, that's not a problem too much, really, is it? What's going to be coming next is the Wither boss. Because to get him, you need to kill Wither skeletons, who spawn inside strongholds. I'm not 100% sure if they'll keep spawning here, but I guess we'll find out. We may have to make something... That's not a problem anymore. We may have to make something to trap the Wither skeletons. And I don't know what they drop, besides their skulls. But if we make a T-shape, Iron Golem style, and put 3 Wither skeleton skulls on top, the Wither boss will spawn. And he is a nasty piece of work. But if we kill him, you can get a Nether star, which combined with obsidian and glass, which we can now acquire, we can make beacons, which give us all sorts of benefits. So we can fill the entire fortress with overlapping fields for beacons. And it seems like there's never going to be a stop to what we can do around here. The Nether is, as always, a very underappreciated resource, it would seem. But it seems like people are actually catching on a bit. But I believe that's going to be all for today. I hope you've enjoyed this delve into the nostalgia of Nether Expedition. I don't think I mentioned this. I can't remember when we made this, but it took some experimentation, and now we actually have a much better food source. Although occasionally these guys spawn in here. But oh well. But that's all for today. I believe I shall catch you next time, and I hope you leave a comment down below if you think the audio quality has improved, or if you think it's declined, and if so, how? Because your comments help me figure out what the hell's going on. Because otherwise I really have very little clue. So, anyways, I'm going to craft this piece of gold, and I shall catch you all next time. Have a good night, guys. Okay, the blocks on the right here, I can maybe understand the glitches. The block on the left is a completely different block. And it's dust in the corners, circuits top and bottom, machine blocks on the side, and a crystal in the middle, and that gets us our mass fabricator.